My name is Kyla Reid, and I lead the disaster response program at the GSMA. We focus on working with mobile operators and humanitarian partners, supporting them before and during different kinds of natural disasters and conflict. As Zuhair mentioned, two of the key themes that will be focused on during this session are innovation and the enabling power of mobile. In our work in disaster response, we see these two themes converge in really profound and often very unexpected ways. For example, during the response to the Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, local community members gathered together with a Vodafone Instant Network team to siphon fuel out of surviving cars in order to power an instant network. Last year, during the water crisis in the Maldives, which didn't make the news as much because I think people were quite surprised to learn that islands covered in water could experience a water shortage, ushered in innovation by a team of staff from the mobile operator Reid, who got together and developed an efficiency system to improve the distribution of fresh water to communities who are in need. We've also seen a lot of innovation around the Ebola crisis, with new mobile contact tracing platforms developed and a number of initiatives looking at harnessing the power of big data. This year at Mobile World Congress is particularly significant for our disaster response program and for a number of the operators and humanitarian partners that we work with. Following 2 years of workshops and stakeholder consultations, today we formally announced the launch of the Humanitarian Connectivity Charter. This is an initiative supported by a variety of mobile operators and partners, which commit signatories to a set of common shared principles and a roadmap of common activities to ensure that people are able to connect when they most need it. Founding signatories include Reid Group, Axiata Group, and Etisalat Group, as well as Smart Communications, and together these companies cover over 35 countries, including some of the world's most disaster-prone, such as the Philippines, Pakistan, Indonesia, as well as collectively representing over 1 billion subscribers. And we're soon to be joined by many more. Their commitments to these principles, which include prioritizing coordination, partnerships, and standards for preparedness, will be realized through the adoption of very straightforward, impactful activities, ultimately ensuring that mobile can be a lifeline for people when they most need it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who do need it. 1.8 billion people have been affected by natural disasters and conflict over the past decade. We have seen in the last year alone huge numbers of people separated from their livelihoods, from their loved ones, in places as diverse as South Sudan, in Syria, in Iraq, in the Philippines, and across West Africa. Though their experiences and their needs differ greatly, the people in the communities impacted by these crises share a fundamental need to communicate, to access information, to drive their decision-making, to call for help, to reach relief agencies, and to facilitate community organization. I think as many of us are recognizing, mobile phones are becoming the preeminent tool to connect survivors to sources of help around the world, increasing their ability to be innovators and architects in their own response. So we're very proud today to be launching the Humanitarian Connectivity Charter, drawing on the partnerships and the input from lots of partners and lots of people within this room. And we're very grateful for the leadership demonstrated by our first cohort of signatories, and for the support from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, the United Nations Emergency Telecommunications Cluster, and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. We look forward to being joined in this initiative by many more operators over the coming months and implementing the activities and living up to the principles as an industry. And we will be celebrating the launch of this charter this evening over drinks, where we'll be joined for brief remarks by representatives from the UN and Reid Group. So we would welcome you to celebrate with us. Enjoy the rest of the session, and thanks very much for coming.